Hey guys, welcome back to episode 117 of the Sim Racing Show, and this week Gran Turismo 7 is getting another free update, but if you look online, sim racers are disappointed and asking one question: what's the point? Because even Kaz himself has been watching Sim Racing Show because he is calling this one niche, and with Silverstone, Pikes Peak and classic Gran Turismo circuits still sitting on people's wish list, is Polyphony actually giving players what they want? We'll get into it in just a second, but there's also been a massive move in sim racing hardware because Corsair has just acquired Trak Racer, and with Fanatec already under the same roof, what does that mean for the rest of the sim racing hardware market? And somehow, Gran Turismo has ended up on PC, because the technology on Gran Turismo has ended up inside BeamNG.drive, strictly speaking, helping transform the game there as that looks to prepare for PS5. We've also got a Super Woden Rally Edge heading to consoles. Track Day from street to circuit is showing off more of its ambitious career mode, and NASCAR 26 has revealed more details, but they haven't exactly convinced everyone that this is a sequel fans were hoping for. As always, I'm going to tell you the truth here. Let's get into it. So Gran Turismo 7's next free update has been teased by Kazunori Yamauchi, and even Kaz himself, as I said, described this one as niche. But sim racers are frustrated and keep asking, what's the point of these kind of updates? Because the August update appears to include a K-trim style sports car, a Hyundai Ioniq 6N, and two 90 saloons, one of which looks suspiciously like a Toyota Chaser. But where are the tracks? And that's the frustration that's not going away. Gran Turismo 7 has loads of cars now. It has loads of cars that no one's ever driven. But every time another car-only update arrives, people ask the same thing. Give us Silverstone, give us Pikes Peak, give us more original circuits, give us something new to actually drive these cars on. There's also a little bit, dare I say, but maybe a little bit of Hyundai fatigue, because Gran Turismo 7 has had a lot of Hyundai content recently, so even if the Ioniq 6N is interesting, some players are already asking why we've got so many Hyundais in the game. So maybe Gran Turismo needs to do something special with Hyundai there. This update is very Gran Turismo-esque. We do have the K-trim, we do have a performance EV, and we do have old Japanese saloons. It's not the most mainstream update ever. We've not got the GT3s or the hypercars that we have been blessed with recently. I do think Gran Turismo is at its best when it celebrates weird, specific car nerd and niche machinery. But the problem is, the more cars are there, you just can't ignore the track question. So let me know in the comments, is this a kind of niche Gran Turismo update that you actually love, or are you actually done with downloading updates or getting back into Gran Turismo 7 until Polyphony finally adds new tracks? Now, Trak Racer has just joined Fanatec because Corsair has just acquired Trak Racer, one of the biggest names in sim racing cockpit seats, monitor mounts, motion setups, and full simulator setups. And with Fanatec already under Corsair's ownership, this feels like Corsair buying the missing half of Fanatec. The deal is reportedly worth up to $50 million, and Trak Racer is expected to operate as a sub-brand under Fanatec. So the obvious question is, what happens now? The good version is simple. Fanatec stays focused on the hardware it does, Trak Racer stays focused on cockpits, and Corsair uses both brands to make full sim racing setups easier to buy, easier to configure, and easier to support. That could mean proper Fanatec and Trak Racer bundles, better availability, better spare parts, better customer service, and maybe wider retail distribution. But sim racers, like we do, because we're good at this, we're already asking the awkward questions. The corporations don't always want to answer or give us the answers at face value. If you use MOZA, SimMagic, Aztec, Logitech, or Simucube, like I'm using here, will Trak Racer stay open to everyone, or does it slowly become more Fanatec first? Do the mounting holes start to support Fanatec mounting as opposed to other brands when there's a clash? And that's the big question here. If Corsair does improve support, shipping, warranty, and product quality while keeping Trak Racer open to everyone, this could be a great move. But if this becomes one giant closed ecosystem where more of your rig is kind of pushed through Fanatec, people will push back equally hard very quickly. So is this good news? Potentially yes, but only if Corsair uses Trak Racer to make sim racing simpler, not more locked down. And I think there will be lots of other brands, by the way, that will be looking at this acquisition saying, we've got cash to spend, and we may see more acquisitions in the space. For example, I think we may see more rim manufacturers like I have rims in the background here, we may see the rim manufacturers become acquired maybe by the wheelbase manufacturers or merging or so forth, as there's a kind of like a big ecosystem potential play. Now next we're going to get to Gran Turismo 7 and BeamNG, but before that we'll say big thanks to today's sponsor, which is GT Mega. I've been using GT Mega products for years and years now, and you know that they're solid. So if you want to grab something from GT Mega, I do have a 5% discount. You go to gtmega.co.uk, use code Kireth5 for extra 5% off. That's my inertia bucket seat. I very much recommend getting a bucket seat if you're into sim racing. This is actually on a Prime Light rig and is supporting the SimuCube 2 Pro here, and also 2 active pedals. So big thank you to GT Mega for sponsoring this week's sim racing show. Now Gran Turismo 7 has somehow ended up in BeamNG.drive, sort of, because one of the most interesting details from BeamNG's huge version 0.39 update is that the game is now using Gran Turismo's HDR tone mapping technology, and that helps explain why BeamNG suddenly looks so much better. Version 0.39 only landed a couple of weeks ago, but the team has already been pushing out hotfixes pretty quickly, which is not surprising because it was, as I said, a massive update. Improved graphics, better lighting, UI changes, photo mode updates, and major rally mode improvements I've let you know about in previous sim racing shows, but it did cause some performance issues for some players, and that's a big challenge now because BeamNG is heading to PS5 later this year, maybe next year. The physics and crash simulation are already the star of the show, but this is still one of the most demanding driving games on PC, so optimization has to be nailed before it lands on console. But the Gran Turismo connection is really cool. Polyphony's visual tech is being used by another driving game, and that's not something you see every day, and it shows BeamNG is not just trying to be the best physics sandbox anymore, it's also trying to look like a proper modern driving game. The physics were like already the headline feature, but the visuals are starting to catch up now. Super Woden Rally Edge now has a console release date, and it's coming pretty soon, so Vijuda has confirmed the game will launch digitally on September the 2nd for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series XX, and Nintendo Switch. The game is already available on PC, but the console release should open up to a much wider audience, especially people who like that old school arcade racing style rather than full sim racing seriousness. There's also a physical version, yay physical stuff, coming in October, and that box edition includes Super Woden GP and Super Woden GP2 as well. So if you like kind of like top-down-esque racing, rally stages, career progression, and that slightly nostalgic arcade feel, it could be a nice little package. Now, Track Day from Street to Circuit is continuing to take shape, and the latest update is all about sound. Apex 7 Studios, the small Polish team behind the game, has been showing how it's recording exhaust notes and mechanical sounds to make the cars feel more believable. And they've also revealed another car coming to the game, the Maxi Super S Cup, which is obviously inspired by the Mini One-Star race car. The interesting thing about Track Day is still the bigger idea behind it. This is not just meant to be a simple race weekend simulator. The game is aiming for a proper career mode where you start small, manage your budget, upgrade your way forward, and build your racing life through an RPG-style progression system. So the concept is very cool. Street to circuit racing, money management, progression, car ownership, and a career that hopefully feels like you're actually building something. Now they just need to prove the driving, and hopefully the structure can live up to that idea. And by the way, if you want to do a little bit of your own sim to real driving, remember I am hosting a sim racing track day in the UK on 14th of October. I'll put the link in description. If you want to join, please sign up, please get a ticket. You can bring a passenger for completely free. We're going to have brands on the day as well. So it's a really cool thing, and I want your support basically. If you like the idea of it, and if you're a few hours drive away, please come down, please get that ticket. It could be amazing. We can do more of them. We can do more coaching in like taking your sim to real, and it's a really cool idea. So please go to that link, check it out, share it amongst your friends as well. Hopefully we can turn it into a really cool thing we can do more of. Now NASCAR 26 had a developer AMA on Discord, but it does not sound like it did much to calm people down. A lot of fans were hoping for big new details, but the reaction seems pretty flat. The biggest frustration is that players still will not be able to race all cars and all tracks because the serious restrictions from NASCAR 25 are carrying over. And that's exactly the sort of thing fans wanted iRacing studios to open up. Now NASCAR 26 does have some useful improvements. Dynamic track rubbering is coming, the track cut system is being improved, and the game should be better than last year in some areas, but the concern is still the same. Does this feel like a proper sequel, or does it feel like NASCAR 25 with updates that could have been a DLC if you see what Formula 1 has done? That's the pressure now. NASCAR fans don't just want to clean the version of last year, they want a game that finally feels deeper, freer, and more complete. Hope you enjoyed the Sim Racing Show. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, and Spotify as well. If you want to listen to this as a podcast on Spotify, make sure to share it with your friends on the forums, and I'll see you next week.